Hey everybody, welcome back. I'm sorry for the late video. I've been really busy with midterms. So last week we focused on some dieting tips. Hopefully you had a chance to start correcting your diet, kicking out some of the bad foods, and learning the healthy choices with the tips I gave you. So this week what I want to focus on is helping you develop the exercise portion of losing weight. I want to help you figure out how to get an exercise plan and hopefully give you some challenges to kick you in the ass and get you going. So essentially every exercise plan to give you ideal health, you're going to want three parts to it. You want the cardio aspect, the resistance training aspect, and the flexibility aspect of it. So firstly, I want to talk about the resistance training. Women after menopause start to lose their regulating hormones, as we all know, and this can lead to increased risk of osteoporosis, and this is a big health risk for women. So resistance training is actually going to help you with bone health and help you stay healthy longer. So I really encourage this. So the reason we want to have resistance training in our program is that, first of all, it's going to help us get healthy. It's going to help us to build that foundation and help us to get to where we want to be. But furthermore, it's going to help us build lean muscle, and that in itself is going to allow us to raise our metabolism and burn more calories when we're not active. When you begin weight training, it's important to know that your ligaments take about 7 times longer to adapt than your muscles do. So you should stay away from the brute strength 1-rep exercises until you really get into it, until you've had some experience, because you're at a higher risk for sprains and unnecessary injury. So just try to keep it between 8 to 12 for the first while. Okay, so here's my key points on resistance training. You should have 48 hours between working the same muscle group. This allows time to rest and repair. Rest is just as important as the workout. You should begin about 2 to 3 times a week, maybe an hour session. For tempo, meaning that how long your exercises should take. So if you're doing a bench press, the duration of 1 repetition. So tempo at first, you should just focus on nice and controlled down, a little bit of a pause, nice and controlled up, keeping that good form and going from there. For sets, so this is how many times you do a certain amount of repetitions. So studies have shown that there really isn't much more benefit in doing more than 2 sets per exercise when you're first starting out. So just start out with 2 sets of every exercise until you're primed and you're a bit more skilled in the gym and you're a little more adapted. We should talk about reps. So how many times you should move the weight in every set should be about 8 to 12. 8, if you only get 8, the weight's too hard. If you get 12, it's too easy. So stick in there somewhere. Find a weight that you can do without breaking form. Some other tips I have for you for designing resistance training, I would say keep them full body. This is going to increase the amount of calories you burn while you're doing it. The rest between sets, nice and short. And finally, don't sit down between sets. You're at the gym, you sit enough during the day, everyone does. So I mean, get up, get your exercise in while you're there. So that's it for resistance training. Moving on to cardio. Cardio, depending how intense you want to do it and how long you want to do it, it's going to vary. So if you want to just do it lightly, light activity for cardio like walking or hiking, I would suggest that you do about 1 hour every day. If you can't run or you just don't like running, you're not comfortable, want to make this more difficult, get a weighted vest, fill a backpack with something, just make it more difficult for yourself. Or you can bump your cardio intensity up to moderate or intense. Then you would only have to do it about 3 to 4 times a week. And depending how intense it is, I'd say about 15 to half an hour. Also, a really important thing I want to stress here about cardio is there is no fat burning zone, okay? Does not exist. It's another one of those myths that someone made up along the way. I don't know where it comes from, but basically what's happening is when you're doing low intensity cardio for a long time, your body is metabolizing the most amount of fat, meaning that it's utilizing fat as its main energy system. However, this does not mean you're burning more calories. The thing that you should stick to when losing weight is calories in versus calories out. So if you stay intense, high intensity cardio for a short amount of time, it's going to be just as beneficial as remaining in your fat burning zone. This isn't something you should stick to. If you prefer working in the fat burning zone, knock yourself out. Just make sure you go long enough where you're burning a sufficient amount of calories. Personally, I like to get cardio out of the way. I like to do it highly intense and for about 15 to 20 minutes. Like if you look at sprinters, they don't have an ounce of fat on them, and they do not train in the fat burning zone. And finally, flexibility. Flexibility is really important to help maintain muscle and joint health. It helps prevent injury, and you should stretch before and after a workout, along with a warm-up and a cool-down to prime your muscles and get the lactic acid out at the end so you're not quite as sore the next day. Okay, so challenges this week. Number 1, I want you to find a gym partner and buy a gym membership. If you're not comfortable in a gym, then stay tuned and I will be uploading some home workout videos. But I really recommend that you find a partner and you find a gym because this keeps you accountable and it gets you there on the days you don't want to be there. Number 2, I want you to get your cardio in as I recommended. Don't be shy. You can't be intimidated by other people. You need to start getting out there and getting your exercise in. Thirdly, I want you to start stretching every day. A majority of people sit all day, or they are at the computer, or they have office jobs, and this causes some muscle imbalances. This will cause you to have short hip flexors, shorter hamstrings, and these muscles are going to get tight. Also, a lot of people are starting to get this forward head lean, and that's caused by upper traps and tight pec minor. So I want you to start stretching these muscles every day, specifically because these are the ones that get tight as we sit. Challenge number 4, I want you to find an exercise program to follow. There's all kinds of good stuff on the internet, you just need to start looking for it. So, using the tips I gave you, go out there and find yourself a good gym program. If you aren't entirely sure of what is good and what isn't, send me a program or just send me an email with any more questions. I will make a video or I will look over a program for you. Let you know if it seems like a good starter program. And finally, I just want to end on saying continue to track your calories, your exercise, and following the diet tips I gave you. Keep doing these things and you're going to see a change in your body. You're going to start to lose weight. You're going to start to feel healthy and more energetic. So don't lose hope. Keep going. You guys are doing awesome. If you're to the 3rd video by now, you're kicking ass. So keep it up. Anyway, I'll see you in the next video. Send me your questions if you got them. Go down below to CrowdermanFitness.com. And I'll see you next week.